This is Escape the Matrix with Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones, live from Rock Canyon Studios in Provo, Utah. Brought to you by KHQN and Channel 17. Call 1-800-776-1913. 1-800-776-1913 with your how to make money questions.
Brought to you by KHQN and Channel 17. I didn't know we're on Channel 17.
Hey, there we go. That's pretty awesome.
That means we're on TV, and I'm really concerned about that because my hair and makeup artist is crappy.
Mine too.
And we're going to have to do something about that. If we're going to be live and people can actually see us, we're going to have to get better hair and makeup artists.
That's true. How do we do that? Who do we want to call about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we are big-time radio stars, you know,
Yeah.
so somebody around here has got to find us someone
I bet somebody will just contact us because they want to do our makeup.
But I think if we had a hair and makeup artist, you would have to show up more than 2 minutes before showtime.
That would be ideal.
So you're going to have to work on your game. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Escape the Matrix show, where we talk about making money online, and what could be more fun than making money online than mocking the government, though. We can mock the government for a little while. We're in day, what, I don't know, 10 or 12 of the government shutdown, and I still haven't noticed. Have you noticed?
I haven't noticed. I haven't, thought about planning a trip to a museum or something, but if I did, I probably couldn't.
You would notice if you went to Zion's National Park, for example, one of the wonders of the world right here in Utah that people can't go to. But I haven't really noticed yet, and certainly not to make fun of anyone who's not making money right now, who had a job with the government, but they're going to get back pay, so I don't feel too bad for them. They're really just getting a paid vacation. You may not know this, Dan, but the government has been shut down 17 times since 1976. Did you know that?
I looked it up. I did look it up. I didn't know it was 17 exactly.
18
but that's
if you include all 4 years of Jimmy Carter's administration.
Good call.
So I vote for 18, actually. So the government shut down, but we are not. We are occupying the studio here at Rock Canyon Studios, and we have a great show for you today. And let me give you some of the teasers. We're going to be talking about Slideshare traffic. We kind of hit a home run ourselves over the last week on Slideshare and talk about how we did that, why we did that, and what that does for us. We're going to be talking about My Concept Content Arbitrage. I think that's a cool title. I'm pretty excited about that. That's our own thing. And it's in our premium back office.
Content arbitrage is so fun to talk about, so easy to talk about, and so important.
So important and changing and getting a little bit easier. That's what we're going to talk about.
I have an awesome note on that with a big change that Google came out with that's going to rock the SEO world. I don't know if you've heard about it, but...
Is this besides the advertising change I made yesterday that we're going to talk about?
It's related to keyword research and keyword traffic and stuff,
Wow,
actually.
let's put that on the shelf and talk about that when we get to Facebook.
That'll be a good one. Yeah.
Fantastic. We have put a list of show notes on the website. So for those of you driving who are thinking, man, I want to be taking notes as you learn some of these tidbits, you do not have to take notes or crash your car to listen to the show or to pick up on all the notes and links and things that we talk about. I've already put up a blog post. If you go to escapethematrix.net and go to the blog, there is a blog post called Episode 20 Show Notes, in which there are links and references to much of what we'll be talking about today. Then we upload the show to YouTube. That happens automatically, actually, because we broadcast over YouTube Live, and some people are watching us live on YouTube right now, as well as Channel 17. How cool is that? And then, of course, we have our podcast channel, which Dan updates, so it's about 5 weeks behind. But I'm not mocking you, Dan, for that. I know you're busy. I just thought I'd bring it up, on the air.
Call me out.
Call you out, but Dan assures me that while he's behind.
The first time we ever go live on TV, I just get reading like this. Wow.
Because that's what we do. We mock each other, we mock others, we mock the government. It's just part of the fun of being on the radio.
Yeah.
Free speech.
That's right. And you know what? I just wanted to point out that my speech happens to be a little bit better than your speech.
Probably.
Just by way of people who have noticed our radio voices and have said that mine is better than yours.
Yeah, he's referring specifically to my wife, who listens to the show on occasion and says things like, "The show was good today. Dan has a good radio voice." I have a face made for radio, is what she says about me.
Which is great now because we're on Channel 17.
But now back to the hair and makeup artists. But actually, we got to get back to helping people make money.
That's a good idea.
They really don't want to hear us talking about all this other stuff on the show. They want to hear how can they make more money. Where do we start? Let's start with Slideshare.
Yes.
It's been interesting to me that YouTube is so popular, and of course we love YouTube. We upload to YouTube every single week.
Every single week.
Often multiple times during the week, and of course we love YouTube. We're fans of YouTube. We're streaming this show on YouTube. Here's what's interesting though. Some of the videos that we upload and that you upload and that anyone uploads, we're all looking for the Charlie bit my finger type of success with our videos.
That'd be great.
And it very, very rarely happens. It's kind of like winning the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, most YouTube videos get 50 to 100 views. If you're lucky, a lot of YouTube videos get 6.
Yeah.
Right? So 50 to 100, we would consider that hitting a single in baseball. Whereas Charlie bit my finger would be more than a home run; it'd be winning the whole season.
Which you know what, hitting a single is great. That adds to your batting average. And if you can bat a .4, right, that's pretty good.
You'll win the game.
Yeah, that means that 40% of your hits are singles, possibly.
Part of our content arbitrage strategy of if you keep putting out enough things that get 100 views, and you do it every single week, they all add up to a significant amount of traffic. My point, though, is about Slideshare. When I upload a slide presentation to Slideshare, I've usually made a video of it already and uploaded it to YouTube. So all I'm doing is leveraging a piece of content. I made the slides, I do a voiceover of it and put it on YouTube. I load the slides by themselves on Slideshare, and Dan, every single time I get more views faster on the Slideshare slides themselves than on the YouTube videos.
Huh. So you actually get more eyeballs to your SlideShares than you do to your YouTubes.
Every time. Last week I created a slideshow called Your First Year in Online Marketing. I uploaded it to Slideshare and I have 3,500 views.
Woo, that took off. Last week it went at this exact time it was about 500. So
it was 500 after day one. It's 3,500 today. And you know what?
Do you have any YouTubes that are that high?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I do, but never within a week.
Huh?
Typically, it takes time.
Yeah.
They kind of build up over time. That's been my experience. So, the big takeaway here, Dan, is anyone listening to us right now, anyone wanting to get free traffic, check out Slideshare. Now, go to the show notes where I have 2 specific links. I got a link to my channel on Slideshare, so you could have just kind of look through the kind of stuff I do and get a feel for what we're talking about. And the second is a link specifically to that presentation that got the 3,500 visits. So you could just go through. It's only 15 slides. Took me, I don't know, it probably took me an hour. So it was an hour of work, but it's now permanent online, getting views every single day. I mean, what's the downside?
You know, I think that the downside could be sometimes people think that it's going to take longer than an hour or that an hour isn't worth it. I mean, it is good content, but it only took you an hour. It's stuff that you already know because you're an expert in the field, and you're just giving the information to other people. I think that if a lot of people remember that and realize that they're an expert and they have something to offer that provides value to others, that they can do the same thing.
Great point. And another major difference, Slideshare tends to attract business people with working credit cards.
There you go.
YouTube attracts a lot of teenagers with no credit card, and so the quality of traffic is through the roof. So after this break, this is Escape the Matrix Show with Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones. We got more on Facebook and a variety of other online marketing methods. We'll see you after the break. And if you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to the show. We also have a toll-free number if you're in the U.S., 800-776-1913. Feel free to call in. And
I'm going to run and grab my drink real quick.
Okay.
So next we're up on
After
simplified content arbitrage.
Yes, simplified content arbitrage. We started into that a little bit, but we'll dive deep into it. And
let me just mention to you the change. Have you noticed that Google Analytics no longer shows you which keywords have how much traffic?
Yeah, they've been threatening for a long time to basically take away the keyword tool.
Well, not the keyword tool, but I mean when you're in Google Analytics and you go to see what keywords brought in the most traffic, you can't see that anymore.
Oh, and it's always been crap anyway.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, and
as of 2 weeks ago, it's gone completely.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Let's talk about that, and then talk about this. What you wanted to bring up with Facebook and SEO.
That was the thing.
Oh, that is okay.
That was the thing.
Okay, so
Sorry if
we'll
it's
cover
not
that.
as cool as you thought.
No, it is cool, and actually, like I said, they've been warning us that was going away.
The reason I bring it up, though, when we're talking about content arbitrage, is because it's going to change the way, like, people. You're not going to be able to target a blog or a page to a specific keyword anymore, because you're not going to know if it's going to rank for that keyword specifically. But the whole focus now is more on content, just getting content out there, just going through that process. That's the video and blog that I read.
Okay. Yep. And we are live back on the radio here at KHQN 1480 AM. I'm Dave Sherwin with my co-host Dan Jones, where we pretend to be radio celebrities. And we're bringing you into our new bumper music, the sultry sounds of Guns N' Roses here on the Escape the Matrix show. Pretty excited about that. I like the rock and roll that we use here on our show.
I do too. It's good. I think that, I don't know, I wonder if our demographic likes it.
I don't really care.
Okay.
It's good for me.
That's all that matters.
As I hear that AC/DC, it's the kind of stuff that's blaring at the CrossFit gym that I go to.
Right.
There's just something about 80s rock hair bands that just has an energy like nothing else.
Oh, and you can pump that iron so much better.
I can lift more weight to AC/DC than I can to
Justin Bieber.
Oh boy, I don't know where to go with that one, but that's funny, Dan. I like that. Well, before the break, we're talking about content arbitrage a little bit, and we're going to dive deeper into that, because everything we talked about with Slideshare and some things we're going to be talking about really falls under that umbrella of content arbitrage, or leveraging high-quality content all over the web in multiple places. Our program in our back office goes into how to create it, how to get the ideas, I mean, all the details and the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. And one of the things I want to talk about is how that's changing. Now, what we talked about with the slide presentation is kind of an intro to that, because here's in a nutshell, here's the major change. It used to be that we used to write articles. Everything started with the written word.
And now that's changed.
It's all changed. It's all changed. It's changed fairly quickly. One of the drivers for this change, in my opinion, is Pinterest. Pinterest has created a world and a mindset in which we want a message almost instantly. We want you to give us a picture and a sentence that teaches us something, or amuses us, or entertains us, or teaches us. And we call that an infographic. And we have become a quick hit, a drive-by society. We are low information voters when it comes to politics. We're low information buyers. And you know what, Dan? Buying psychology is such that people have always bought on emotion and justified it later with logic. Do you know that?
I didn't know that,
actually. It's a proven psychological principle. People buy based on emotion. And you can evoke emotion with your graphic and one little sentence. And so what's happening is, we used to start with the article. You know what? I'm not starting with the article anymore. As a matter of fact, Dan, you know what I'm starting to do? This is a major shift in philosophy and workflow for me. I'm starting with a slide presentation.
Wow. That's interesting. Because not even 1 year ago, it was still article becomes a slideshow presentation.
And now I'm reversing that exactly, because to create a slideshow presentation, I have to create 15 to 20 infographics, so to speak.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to consider a real home run. Now, we mentioned, for those of you just joining the show, we give an example of this on the show notes. Go to escapethematrix.net. By the way, let's do some of the stuff that real radio show hosts do on a regular basis, like give out our toll-free number.
Ah, there you go.
You can call us at 800-776-1913. The show is provided by KHQN 1480 AM, and we broadcast through through YouTube Live as well. And the show is always uploaded automatically to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/escapethematrixvids. So for those of you who don't catch the entire show or just joining us, you can get all the links and see the entire presentation also at our blog, go to escapethematrix.net and click on the blog. And this is episode. Oh, I made a mistake in the blog title. I just noticed that.
It is episode 21. So
Episode
we'll change that to episode 21 show notes.
Yeah, look for episode 21 show notes. As a matter of fact, I can change that right now on the fly while talking on the radio.
Wow, you are just, it's magic.
Oh, so back to this concept. This is huge because you know what the biggest complaint I've had over the last few years is I teach people how to do online marketing. They don't like to write.
Mm-hmm.
Now, or the people that do like to write don't have the time for it. And so it's always been this major bottleneck. How do I create this content? So it used to be write a good article and then give it to a graphic designer who'll create the slides, and then do a voiceover to create the video, and then take some of the better points and make them into an infographic. And now we're going to turn that on its head. I'm going to go into our own premium course, Content Arbitrage. And that's what I'm going to be changing this week for our premium members and teaching them to no longer start with a 500-word article, but start with the slides.
Now, answer me this. Why wouldn't you start with this? Why wouldn't you start with a video or a radio show, for example?
Good question. It's not an either or. Okay, so there's also different levels of content. So for example, for us, this show, we take this show and we do what we teach. We put this show out on as many places as we can. We put it on iTunes. We put it on YouTube. We put it on our own blog, and then we disperse it to a variety of places. I'm forgetting many of them, right, as we talk. But there's a mind map in our back office there on all the places that we put our own show. And from this show, we could create many infographics, right? And so this really is the best way, recording and then dispersing all that. But sometimes you just got one idea that you just want to get out there, and you may not do everything. For example, what I put out last week, Your First Year in Online Marketing, is a course that we have available in our back office. And all I was doing was adding slides that I'd never really made in the past, and so I was just jumping right in with a concept I've already created. So if you're going to do a premium piece of content that you're really going to put your back into, then yeah, start with recording everything about it and then disseminate it into everything else.
Okay.
But you've got to put out content every day, and so sometimes you're just going to create slides and put them on Slideshare.
Just a little bit of a brain
video.
dump onto a slideshow.
Yep. Yeah,
and
we
that's
do that.
easy because it's bullet points. Anybody can write down bullet points. It's sometimes harder to make that into like a good flowing sentence and paragraph and article, but anybody can throw down bullet points in a slideshow.
Exactly right. And then I have a writer, Eddie, and what I'm doing is I'm having Eddie take the slides to create the article.
Ah.
So we're just reversing the process. So instead, I used to write the article. Now I'm creating the slide. Part of the reason I'm doing it this way, Dan, I've had a heck of a time finding graphic designers who can take my ideas and make them just how I want them. Generally, I've been disappointed.
Yeah.
I've found in the end, it's easier for me to just create the slides myself, and that may not be true for everybody. So, it's going to be case by case in a lot of ways. But for me, in the real world, I'm finding this is the better way to create the content. And Dan, it leads nicely into what you told me during the break. A lot of people may not be understanding how critically important content is. Now, there's been a major change on Google.
Right.
And that is basically prompted by much of what we're talking about with the content arbitrage strategy. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so the other day I was noticing that Google is, when I was going through actually one of a client, is that I couldn't actually see what keywords specifically I was ranking for. All it said was that my traffic was coming from Google. That's all it said. It said, Google, this amount of traffic. And I was like, okay, well, let's drill down a little further. Let's see what we've been ranking for and where we've been coming in through our website. And it didn't show me. It doesn't show that anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that in your Google Analytics, in your back office of your analytics, and you can't see what websites or what keywords that people are coming to now.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, sweet. What does that mean? But what it means is that we're going back to some real basics here. No more of this like SEO is, you want to get to the top of Google or you want to have good rankings, because no one cares about rankings if it's not good keyword. No one cares about rankings if no one's buying. No one cares about ranking if you're not getting traffic. And those are the things that we really want. We want money. We don't want a number one on Google for 50 keywords that don't matter. So I think that's one thing that Google's kind of trying to shy away from is all this SEO optimization, of optimizing for keywords. What it now turns into is just get some good content out there. Just get out there and talk about your niche, talk about your target, talk to your target audience. And if you know who that is, you're going to just rank for what you need to anyways, and it's just going to come.
And that's always been, if you read through Google Webmaster Tools,
yeah,
that's what they've always said. They've always said, just put out a really great website and the traffic will come. Now, that's kind of fairylandish for those of us that do SEO. That's been the whole problem, right, is really, because there's only 10 spots in the front of Google, and there can be 1,000 sites that have really good content about that keyword, and so that really is a misnomer from Google and has been all along. Now, in conjunction with what you just said, they have been announcing that their external keyword tool is going away, and I think that what you've seen so far in the Google Analytics is part of that. Now, that's why I use SEMrush. There's a link to that in our show notes for those of you that don't know what it is, and that's the tool of choice for me anyway. Google's keyword tool has always been wildly inaccurate. I have #1 rankings for words that don't get me 3,000 visitors in a year, where we just talked about in an earlier segment, putting up one set of slides on Slideshare and getting 3,000 visitors in a week.
Yeah.
Right? And so really,
that makes total sense, because now that's it. That essentially is what Google's trying to move toward.
It is, and it's what we should be moving toward anyway. It's what we've always been preaching, is create good stuff, create good content, put it out in multiple places. The key is, how do you do that? And of course, it's easier said than done.
Right.
It's easy to say this. That's why we have a whole course on it in our back office, right? Because the devil's in the details. But the concept, the principle, is true. Now,
so I would say the kind of a takeaway from that is just kind of move away from trying to get keyword specific, move away from keywords, move towards content.
And what about the keywords? Now, the keyword, what's interesting, rather than noodle so much on the keyword, what I'm going to be talking to people about is noodle on the title.
Yeah.
You got to have a title that sucks people in, and that's what you got to spend your time thinking about. We don't have too much time before the break, and we wanted to talk about this major change on Facebook ads, which was implemented yesterday. It's big. It's totally different. Their whole ads back office is completely revamped. And we've only got 24 seconds before the hard break. This is the Escape the Matrix show on KHQN 1480. You can call us at 800-776-1913. And after the break, more on Facebook and some of the major changes in their advertising, plus a case study on a current Facebook page that I'm working on that's pretty interesting. We'll see you after this break.
1 minute early. I'm sorry.
And we still have a minute on the air.
So we're still live, or?
Yeah, we're still
Yep.
live.
Oh, Jonathan,
50 seconds.
our trusty engineer, tells us that the clock we're looking at is lying to us.
You clock, you.
And yet 1 minute is not really enough time to go into the Facebook ads change. And so, Dan, I'll just turn it over to you to just fill the next... Oh, wow.
So has that changed? I mean, there's a lot of courses out there that talk about how to crack Facebook ads.
There are
changed?
No. All the basics are still in place. It's just how you
Gotcha.
create your ad, how the ad displays, and specifically, there's 3 ways that Facebook ads display. And in the past, when you created your ad, you couldn't differentiate between the 3. We'll talk about the 3 and how to take advantage after
Alrighty.
this break, which is for real this time.
Should have known. The music. The music.
So
is
the
one.
music is right. The clock is wrong.
Yeah, and it's because I was synchronizing it in error.
Ah. Well, to everyone watching us on television and on YouTube Live, you can see the behind-the-scenes damage of the Escape the Matrix show and some of the technical difficulties we run into on occasion.
Only occasion, though, because Jonathan rocks.
Yeah, Jonathan, the one-man wrecking machine with his multiple computers, screens, lights, enough wire to wrap around the Earth at least once. He manages all of it from his trusty cockpit. We ought to turn the cameras around sometime and show him on TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so Facebook. We'll talk about the Facebook ads change, and then we'll go into the case study. Excuse me.
Of your Facebook page.
My new Facebook page. I'm pretty excited about it.
So do we have minute 30, or is that our minute 45?
Yeah.
That's
41.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So is this one of your Facebook pages that you've had for a while, or is this a new case study that you made?
I
just
put it up
for this?
6 p.m. on Friday.
There you go. And you got 400 likes. Have I heard of this page before?
Probably not.
Wow.
And I want to tell the whole story. It'll probably take this Facebook advertising thing and this page will cover the next 2 segments easy.
Wow.
So we're going to dive deep.
Oh yeah, this is.
I don't know, but I would go with whatever one you started with. No, I think that's weird if you suddenly it's totally different. But that's just me.
Once again, the live audience seeing the change.
And that Google Plus thing, does that show up automatically whenever you're doing a Google Live? That logo is.
It's permanent. It's permanently there.
Yeah, it does.
Well, good for them. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's why they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because they're smart.
I wish we could have an Escape the Matrix logo watermarked on a lot of
Just cover
random-
theirs. That's what we ought to do.
There you go.
Just plug ours right on top of theirs. 19 seconds.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
Oh, not even with an annotation or anything? I wonder.
If we put the same color up there, we kind of It sounds like you've been working too hard doing dumb things with your website. This is Escape the Matrix with Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones, live from Rock Canyon Studios in Provo, Utah. Brought to you by KHQN and Channel 17.
There's another new intro. And we
Yeah.
didn't get mocked in that one.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was good. And I am Dave Sherwin. This is my co-host Dan Jones. This is the Escape the Matrix show, as was mentioned. And welcome to Channel 17 viewers who are hopefully sitting watching our show, eating their cereal in their pajamas. It is 8 a.m. here. Now, we broadcast all over the world. We have listeners all around the globe. And hopefully my new writer, Eddie, in Kenya, is listening in.
Oh, yeah. Did you let him know?
I did.
Cool.
I try to have everyone on my team listen into the show as often as possible, so they get a feel for who we are and what we do, and that would kind of helps them in their training. And so, welcome, Eddie, if you are watching.
Welcome, Eddie, and the rest of the team.
Now we were talking about Facebook advertising, and it has changed drastically. And this is yesterday. We're talking about cutting edge here. We are, as always, on the very leading edge of technology and what happens online. Facebook should come to us. I hope they have representatives listening because we are that cutting edge. Facebook and Google ought to have staff just sitting, taking notes on this show and how they can improve what they're doing.
They'd learn a lot.
Now, here's what Facebook says to us this week, and I quote, this is after announcing the Facebook ads change and how you create ads differently than you used to do. As before, this is the quote, Facebook will place your ad where we see it performing best, whether it's in mobile newsfeed, desktop newsfeed, and or on the right-hand column. However, knowing some advertisers want to tailor ads based on where they will appear, we are now giving marketers the option to choose where their ad will be placed. For example, a marketer looking to drive traffic to their website can now place a desktop ad with a link to their full desktop site and a separate mobile ad that links to their mobile site. This means businesses can better tailor ad experiences based on where people will see their image. And to that we say, Facebook, welcome to the internet and to Google in 2010. I'm sorry if Facebook does have
Good
people
job.
listening to our show. But welcome to 2010. Now we're looking for you to make an update that brings you into 2013. But wonderful that you're catching up and catching on, that we actually like to tailor our ads depending on where people see them.
What a novel concept.
Can you believe it? It has driven me nuts for the last 3 years I've done Facebook advertising that I create one ad. They let you upload an image, a little sentence,
Right.
a title, and a little sentence, and then they display that differently in those 3 areas that we mentioned. The dumbest
Right.
thing you can ever imagine in advertising, that you can't, as an advertiser, have more control over your ad and how it appears, because as we all know, when you look at an ad, everyone listening right now, if you just go into Facebook and look at an ad in the sidebar and then compare it to an ad in your news feed, you know what they are, you know what's different about them, right?
Yeah.
And Facebook, welcome to 2013. That is so wonderful that you are giving us the tools that Google has had for probably 6 years.
So interesting. So you're going to be able to, you as a marketer have to make 3 different ads, and Google will still, or Facebook will still place them wherever they want?
Well, this is where this is a little confusing, and Dan, I have not yet used the tool. And this paragraph to me is confusing, because if you listen to this sentence, as before, Facebook will place your ad where we see it performing best, is what they
Right.
said. Then later, they say, for example, a marketer looking to drive traffic to their website can now place a desktop ad with a link to their full desktop site and a separate mobile ad. So it sounds like you create all 3,
Right.
and they're still going to display them, however, whatever gets the best click-through rate.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have to create all 3. It sounds like you can't just create a mobile ad, or just create a newsfeed ad, or just create a sidebar ad.
And if you do just create one, then it's going to look like crap like it has for the last 8 years on Facebook.
Yes, I believe that's the case, and I guess I'm saying, why not? Like Google has had, we've had the ability to do display advertising and advertise just in the display network forever on Google. Why can't we only advertise in mobile if
Right.
our platform calls for it? Why can't we only advertise in the sidebar if we find as the advertiser that works more successfully than in the news feed?
Yeah, so there's plenty of companies who may not want to target people who are on their desktop, and vice versa.
Yeah, but it's a big step forward. So yay, Facebook, you're getting there. And hey, as much as I'm making fun of them, here's the thing. I don't advertise on Google anymore. Here I am. Their platform's way better. As an advertiser, better, I mean, you can target your ads like crazy. You can create you have a lot of control over the entire process. Facebook, you have less control, but more results, frankly, right now, and more ROI because it's so much less expensive. And that leads us nicely into our case study, unless you have more to say on this Facebook advertising. Any other questions, comments, or complaints about that?
I think we covered it. Let's jump into this case study.
The case study, that will kind of give people a rubber hits the road experience on how this all actually applies in the real world. So I've got a son who's pretty savvy. He's been making a little bit of money online for a long time. We sell stuff together on eBay, and sometimes we sell a decent amount. I mean, for a teen, you know, it's not like a real business, but he's savvy enough to learn how to sell stuff on the internet, and he's done a variety of different things. We're currently selling some iPad cases we bought from Alibaba in China and turning around on eBay. And my wife and I are kind of concerned about it because he's a gamer. He's got this great computer, super fast, the best graphic card, all that stuff. And he loves this game, League of Legends. And he plays it too much, right? But we get this friction of, you know, son, it's just too much. No, I just barely started this game. I just started 15 minutes ago. No, you were there 2 hours ago. You know how it goes. This is the parenting thing, right? And last week I was really thinking about this, you know, how can we, without the friction, how can I help him to take his really super cool computer, and he does like to make money. He does like to earn money. He gets a lot of satisfaction out of online marketing. And I thought to myself, how could I work better with him to help him be more motivated to spend time on his computer? And so I started asking him questions about this game. It's called League of Legends. There's a link to the page that we created on Friday. So he's home from school. It's Friday. We're sitting down. We're having this discussion. And I said, Tyler, tell me about this game. I want to learn about this game. Well, he's pretty excited about the game. So he was excited that his dad took an interest. So we go to the major League of Legends page on Facebook. 6.4 million likes. As a marketer, that's a clue. I'm like, okay, this is legit, right? How many pages have over 6 million likes?
Yeah, there's not many.
The next thing I wanna look at is there supportive communities or other people getting into this? So we start looking around Facebook, and there's tons of private groups and
yeah.
regular groups and other pages, some of them with significant amount of likes. Now, my big concern, of course, is I don't know how I can make money selling stuff to teenagers.
Right.
And so I go to my keyword tool of choice, SEMrush. We've already talked about that. And I find that there's many people in the age group of 18 to 44 who love the game.
Ah, so you're not just teenagers.
Not just teenagers. There's a lot of teenagers, but there's also a lot of people with working credit and debit cards who can buy stuff. And now, this is big, everyone. I feel like I need a drum roll for this one.
Here we go.
You got to hit it louder, I think, to come through the mics. Everyone wants to know the big question: how do you figure out a good niche? That's enough drum roll. But it is a great point. It is a great point, worthy of drum roll. Here's a big question: will they buy a T-shirt?
Will they buy a T-shirt?
That's the question you want to answer when you're reviewing a niche. Are they passionate about this?
Well, I don't have any T-shirts to sell.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you absolutely do. But oh boy, I don't know how to bring that up or not. Teespring.com. Teespring, T-E-E spring.com.
Okay.
And you have T-shirts to sell. We'll put that on the shelf for just a minute.
All right.
Okay. Now, after doing the keyword research with him, side by side, we're analyzing the niche. We're getting excited about it. I'm getting excited about it. He's getting excited about it. It's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put up a League of Legends page. How about that? Here's it. We're going to do equal time here. I want you to spend as much time on the page as you do, and we'll split the profit. I'll put the money and the time into it. You will do all the posting. That's going to be your job. And here's what you have to do. You have to do 3 posts every single day, 7 days a week. Now, you don't have to work Saturday and Sunday, but you can use a scheduled post feature like we've talked about on previous episodes. But if you will make sure there are 3 good quality posts every single day, that's all I ask you to do. And that should take you probably an hour. I know that it sounds easy to do 3 posts on Facebook every single day, but as you know and I know, in actual fact, to do quality posts that people will share and like, you gotta use your brain.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it. You gotta take the time. Now we're gonna go into this little case study is gonna bleed over into the next segment. So if you're listening to us driving, whatever, there are links to this on our website, escapethematrix.net. Episode 21 is the most recent blog post about it. And we're going to go into more detail on this case study because it's a pretty darn cool thing. This conversation, we had decided in 1 hour that this niche was good. We had a little game plan in place, and we were marketing this site by 6 p.m. on Friday. And today we have how many likes? Do you have that page up?
I don't.
I caught you off guard.
Fact.
It's over 400.
Okay.
It's over 400 likes. The page, for those of you who are on a computer right now, we're going to be diving deep into a little case study here and pointing out a few things, and all in the intent to help you with your Facebook marketing. It's called League of Legends Planet, or Dave Becomes a Gamer, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, there you go. So right now, just go to search of it.
Go search League of Legends Planet on Facebook. And we have a hard stop in 12 seconds here on the Escape the Matrix show on KHQN 1480 AM. But when we come back, case study, how to make money on Facebook. This is Dave Sherwin with Dan Jones.
So,
are we sure we're off the air? Yeah. Okay. On that extra music, that's not what we wanted to use. Did you read the instructions? No. Could you, would you please read those? Because I ended up giving you some stuff that we didn't. I don't know. Where did you actually get that slow blues that was just playing? From you. In that file? Yeah. Okay. Read through the instructions, and it tells you exactly where to get the extra music. There's 4 of them. And it says when they start and when they stop. And what you were just playing, I had put in there before I found better music. Sorry about that.
So I'm updating this.
Was that link
post.
wrong?
Yeah.
Ah.
That's what caught me off. So let's go here.
For those of you who are online or watching this, you might have clicked on the link on the blog post and it was wrong. Dan is updating it and giving you the correct link on the League of Legends Planet page. One of the things that drives me nuts, Facebook's algorithm for search is terrible. You know that?
Oh man, so bad.
Like if you search League of Legends Planet, I don't think it would even bring this up, would it?
I think it did actually.
Oh, did it?
But I may have been there before.
Right, right.
So
if you weren't there, it'd be interesting for me to know, because I'll tell you how the number of times I search for a page on Facebook and I search it by exactly what this page is called, and it gives me a bunch of other stuff.
Oh.
It's kind of crazy. We're back on in 3.
Okay.
Just let that play down.
Just let it.
A little bit of old AC/DC. Nothing like
It's
it.
good.
Nothing
Good.
like it.
I like it.
The energy. I love it. Great music. They don't
was
make music
awesome.
like that anymore. We're bringing it back. We're going retro here on the Escape the Matrix show, 1480 AM KHQ, and then on Channel 17, where they actually get to watch the damage of the Escape the Matrix show as we pretend to be radio hosts, but talk about how you can make money online. We're currently talking about Facebook. And, you know, a lot of people listening right now are probably thinking to themselves, I know people are making money on Facebook, but how?
Yeah.
And we started talking about how I'm doing it with the old-fashioned turn your hobby into money approach. And I say old-fashioned because this has been taught since about 1998 from what I can tell.
Turning your passion into money.
Turning your passion into money online. There's
Yeah.
people that have made millions of dollars doing it. I've never really done it before, so this is kind of new for me. I have a little bit in the wellness niche.
Right.
I'm big into health and wellness, and that's where most of my income has come from for about the last 3 years.
But you're not paying the bills by running triathlons.
Not by running triathlons, but by selling supplements. Yeah.
Right.
So this one is actually taking my son's hobby and turning it into money. Now, you can go to our link, go to escapethematrix.net, click on the most recent blog post, episode 20 show notes, and there's a link to the actual page, or hopefully you can find it within Facebook. What is this with their algorithm? I'm sure everyone else has noticed it. When you go to search specific pages, it often doesn't pull up what you want. Like this page is called League of Legends Planet, and I bet for a lot of people if they enter League of Legends Planet, something else would show up. But I don't know what that is with Facebook, but I hope they get it right soon, because they're trying to compete with Google. They want this, what do they call it again? Their search bar? They call it Facebook.
Oh, the Facebook graph.
Facebook graph search.
Yep.
Needs work.
Yeah.
It needs
I
work.
thought it was going to be a lot cooler when it, because I was stoked to have it. You know, I've been reading about it for months leading up to it and stuff, and
Yeah,
just thought it was going to be the coolest thing.
It's worse than Bing. I mean, no one Bings
Yeah.
things, right? Like, why do people Google things? They Google things because they get the right results.
Yeah, they know they're just going to find what they're looking for.
They don't Netscape things. They
No.
don't Bing things. They don't AOL things. They Google things.
Yeah.
Now, if Facebook wants people to Facebook things, they ought to make their graph search work better. So again, anyone from Facebook who's listening to our show, which I'm sure there's dozens, I'm sure there's a whole staff dedicated
I think
to
the
listening to our
Facebook
show.
graph search team is listening right now.
I hope
I
they
know.
are.
I've heard that they.
Can
have a
you make it
particular
so that when we
interest.
search for something, it shows up kind of like when we Google stuff? But moving on, League of Legends Planet. It is a site, as mentioned before the break, that me and my son put up. Now, literally, the page went live Friday at 6 p.m. I found the graphics using Google Images, and we're in the process of getting our own graphics created. These are ones that we found online, and we're having Fiverr gigs done for our profile. and for our cover image. So these are just what we call swipe graphics, and it's an example of do what I say, not what I do, because we wanted to get this up quickly, and we're going to change out these graphics. And frankly, Dan, we simply forgot to use your secret tip on using Google's image search for non-copyrighted stuff. This
right.
could be, public domain, or it may not be, but I'm going to get it off of here as fast as I can, just to be sure.
Yeah, because you don't want to have to pay someone money.
I don't want to pay someone money. So we have 444 likes in 4 days. That's not bad, right?
No, not at all. That's averaging 111 likes a day.
111 likes a day.
I'd be cool with that.
And what we're trying to do now is we're trying to build that following as fast as we can through natural and viral growth. And so Tyler understands to analyze every post he does and look for two simple things. How many people liked it? How many people shared it? Now there's a third one, not quite as important from a marketing point of view, but very important from building a Facebook page point of view, and that is how many comments are we getting, the actual engagement, and that's also important to Facebook.
Right.
And Dan, it's worth reminding people who don't watch the show on a regular basis, who don't understand that when you have 444 likes or 444,000 likes or however many likes you have, when you post something to your page, how many of them see it?
A good, 10%. Up to 30 or 40%.
I still think that bears repeating, right? Because I think a lot of new marketers and a lot of people with a Facebook page assume that when you like a page, you will then see what they post. And actually, it's still puzzling to me why, when someone likes a page, Facebook would decide whether they see your stuff or not.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. Like, I like this page and I want to learn more about them. Because I know that by liking it, I will receive daily updates on what they're talking about.
And yet
Facebook's
it doesn't work that
actually,
way.
No, we're not going to let the...
Strange, right?
Right. Definitely strange.
But
Puzzling.
We have to work around it. We have to understand it. We have to work around it. Now, there are a couple ways that you can get everyone to see one of your posts, and of course that is through a promoted post. You can promote it. You can pay a little bit of money, and everyone will see it. So if I go through one of these posts that he did, and this one got 4 or 5 likes, a couple comments, a couple shares. Of course, it's new, so we're not getting a whole lot of activity yet. But if I wanted to promote this, I can click on Boost Post, and I can spend. They want me to spend $30. That's what they default to.
They're like 30 is a good number for you.
Yeah, but that would reach 20 to 30,000 people. But if I go down to $5, it would reach. That is not making sense. That should be 20 to. It says 20 to 20 out of your potential audience of 20. Do you know what? Is Facebook broken?
That's great. Maybe you have a potential audience of 20. You're like, I can potentially get this seen by 20 people. What's that?
We are
2% of your likes.
I wish we could show my screen right now. We actually fiddled with that a couple weeks ago about showing our screen during the show, but they changed. We talked about earlier that they changed their advertising platform.
Take a screenshot of that real quick.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of that because Facebook advertising, at least their promoted posts, is broken. I kid you not. I've never seen that before. Have you?
I haven't. I haven't seen the broken 20 out of 20 of your potential
20 out of 20 people will see this for $5. Like, I'm going to spend $5 to get 20 people to see my promoted post. And so this is very interesting.
But that is down from $30. For 20,000
$30, we can, no. Dan, look at it. It's across the board. For $30,
screenshot of that one.
20 out of 20 people
so
see it.
So you could
for
spend $100 to get 20 people to see
20 out
it.
of 20.
Or you could spend $5 to get 20. I say go with $30.
Folks, we talked about Facebook updating their advertising platform yesterday. I think they broke it.
I think they did a good job. They're saying, you could pay $100, or we suggest you pay $30 to reach 20 people.
Let's check another one. If we boost this post for $30, 20 out of 20 people will see it. And we're trying to do a case study on Facebook live on the air and help you to learn about Facebook marketing. And their boosted post feature, at least, is completely dysfunctional. at the moment. So we can still do our case study. This is just amazing. Never seen this before. Dan and I both been doing Facebook marketing a long time, and like I said, they updated their advertising platform yesterday, and it is broken. But if you're looking at the page, and hopefully you are, because we're using this as a little case study, this is something that we put out a post. We put out one post of a link where people could actually buy something, and it's not something that made us money. He actually found, this is actually an interesting little mini case study. He had found a credit card, a League of Legends American Express card.
Oh my gosh.
And one of his first posts on October 4th was, anyone getting the new American Express Serve League of Legends card? So many riot points. That must be important in League of Legends to get riot points. This is why he posted the page and not me.
I was going to say.
Here's what's amazing to me. We hardly had any people on our page when he posted this. And one of the guys responds, just signed up. Now, to me as a marketer, that's pretty good news. I swear, I don't think we had more than 100 likes when he posted this one. Now, remember the big question. The big question, will they buy a t-shirt? You'll notice another little case study that we did.
They won't buy a t-shirt. They'll go as far as
they'll even get a
credit card.
Now, another little one we did, he posted a picture of a t-shirt from Level Up Studios. So we're giving them some love. Not much. Again, we only have 444 likes, so this is still all in development mode. And yet, 1, 2, 3, 8 people liked it. Only 121 people saw it. So that's a pretty good percentage of
yeah, you're
interest.
looking at about almost 25%, yeah.
And it's a t-shirt, an image of a t-shirt. And again, this is all small right now. It's all just in testing mode. But so far, what we're seeing is that people are liking the products that we're showing. They're liking T-shirts. So one guy already signed up for a credit card that we promoted. And by the way, this is what we're working on right now. Is we're going to teespring.com, and at teespring.com you can set up a campaign. You don't have to buy a bunch of T-shirts. You can have it created and have the person order on the fly.
Because you just design it, and then Teespring takes half of it, you take half of it, right?
That's exactly right.
You never have to see product or anything like that.
The other thing is that we're thinking that they'll like Amazon products. So we're going to use our Amazon affiliate link, and we'll post cool mugs and stuff that gamers use. I mean, it could be...
they get parched after sitting there for 20 hours straight.
They buy things
gaming.
Like my son has this really cool waterproof keyboard.
Huh?
That's lasts forever, even with multiple. You know, gamers like beat the crud out of their keyboards, right? So stuff like that, stuff like mouse pads, stuff that they actually use on a regular basis. And we are out of time. I can't believe how time has flown. You can pick up everything we've talked about today in the show notes on escapethematrix.net. This is Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones on the Escape the Matrix show, wishing you success in your business. We'll see you next week. And we are done. Thank you for joining us if you're watching on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed the show, picked up a few cool tips that you could implement. We'll see you here again next week, same time, same bat channel.